影交织，不生清浅，海面无声，映出长天。少了货船的喧嚣，唯有春光缓缓流连。
这一切看起来都非常的唯美，对吧？没错，我们现在呢就位于新西兰最大的城市奥克兰的码头。说到码头两个字，大家一定和我一样都有同样的共识，就是光唯美那可不够了。毕竟作为一个城市的枢纽，应该是繁忙且繁华才对。但是我们可以看到，在这里很少看到有货轮往来的轨迹。好的，问题来了，到底是谁按下了奥克兰码头中枢作用，包括商业作用的暂停键呢？带着这个问题，我们要来问问几位市长候选人是怎么看待这个问题的。奥克兰港是新西兰规模最大的港口，在大洋洲港口的吞吐量排名第5。在过去几年中，曾因自动化管理失效导致货轮进出口拥堵、擅自提高卡车进港费等问题广受争议。奥克兰港是市议会直属组织机构之一，市议会拥有100%的控股权。除了奥克兰港、Watercare 水务公司、奥克兰交通等也都是市议会直属机构，以及奥克兰机场，市议会也曾持有9.71%的股份。2024年12月，市议会将机场股份售出，所得13.1亿纽币已全部投入到奥克兰未来基金会中，用于奥克兰基础设施发展。
Well, selling the airport shares has been a great financial improvement and probably dropped everybody's rates by 5%, because we were getting about 0.5% return on that money, and now we're getting 6% return, and which will rise to 8 or 9 once we get going properly. So that's a much better return from the assets. Plus, not just that, we wanted to have our asset diversified across lots of things. Having only had the asset in the airport,
I did not agree to selling the airport shares, and I actually brought that up in the debate that we had last week, that my concern is that the value of the shares has actually increased. I mean, look at the airport. I mean, it may have gone down during COVID, but we know that the population is increasing in Auckland, and so we know that the use of the airport is naturally going to increase along with the value of the shares.
So why do you sell something you don't have to sell? You don't do that. Do you sell your house so that you put in the bank and get 5%? I mean, can you see? That's not good management. And then I look at the Auckland Futures Fund, another CCO. They're only getting 5.8%. That's the same as a 10-year-old the mother put into the Kiwi Bank at 4.5%. You have 1.34 billion. You go to any of the banks.
Should that tax revenue go into the Auckland City Council to pay for things in Auckland? Yes. Does the City Council need to own shares in a private enterprise? No. It's not their role. They are the public sector. Their responsibility is looking after public goods.
在市议会出售了奥克兰机场股份之后，奥克兰未来基金会成立，启动资金即为机场股票所得的13.1亿纽币。这一基金会的成立也是奥克兰2024到203410年发展规划中的重要一步。在市议会官网的陈述中，这一基金将主要用于奥克兰未来大型项目的投资，以及抵消部分税费压力，而投资收益有望在2025到2026财年达到6到7千万纽币。然而，就在今年8月，有媒体报道，奥克兰南区有13个在建的地方场馆和基础设施，并没有如期获得相应的基金支持，而导致项目处于停滞阶段。
My priority would be sort this infrastructure that's in places like Warkworth, that's in other parts of our city first, because those people who are already ratepayers that haven't had their infrastructure sorted, they should be the priority. Then we should be looking at infrastructure for the areas where we're going to intensify.
It's the private sector. They still pay tax. They still pay tax, they still pay rates, they're still contributing to the local economy, but it is the private sector. It has nothing to do with the public sector at all. And by being involved, any council will make the ports less efficient and more incompetent. If we want our ports to be successful, if we want them to bring in the largest amount of revenue possible, the best thing the council can do is not be involved at all.
而另一个更为奥克兰人熟知的旷日持久的大项目就是城市轻轨。这个开始于2016年的交通项目，马上就要进入第10个年头了。新西兰的前总理、前交通部长和前市长都曾纷纷在不同场合宣布过，这个项目会在2022年完成。然后受到疫情以及各种并未得到完全说明的因素的影响，项目进程一推再推，最新公布的通车时间是2026年。除了时间表一再被修改的，还有项目的预算。最初的立项预算在28到34亿纽币之间。2019年因轨道长度增加，成本已经增至44.2亿。2023年受疫情影响导致工期延误，成本跃升到54亿。
The infrastructure cost 3-4 billion already. And they try to build the tunnel, but because they're very strong granite, they waste so much money drilling for many years. So the point is that the light rail has cost 2.9 billion. That's a lot of money of the ratepayers. And they still haven't achieved anything yet. So I would stop the light rail. I'm going to stop it.
It says it's going to open next year.
City rail will be good, but what I'm talking about is the light rail still hasn't been completed next year.
That is a sunk cost, and to stop here would be crazy because it would just waste those billions of dollars that we've spent on it with all the blowout costs. So it needs to be finished. Do I think it was a good idea to begin with? No. It is an absolutely terrible idea.
The point is that we already have a good city rail system. So in the first place, there was no need for the light rail. It's like double up on the transport. You already have the bus system. You already have the train system. Why would you want to have another one? It clogs up the CBD.
Light rail, I think, can be transformative for the city. It can be a big piece of it, but it's not the only piece. We just seem to have this disconnection between buses and ferries and trains and now light rail. So I'm not going to say that I definitely don't plan on saying I'll cancel it or that I'll, push all of our money into it. I think in every area from the ground up, we need to have a look at what we're doing.
The only way we can properly address our issues is a proper functioning rail transportation system in Auckland. It's the only thing that can get Auckland flowing again.
I've been through it in a train already, and they're just at the moment training the drivers. 400 drivers have to be trained through going through there, so that takes some time. Also, we're now concentrating, belatedly, I admit, on intensifying housing around the railway stations. And so in Mount Eden, there's a whole lot of spare land there, which I'm very keen to get covered in multi-storey buildings as quick as we can, so that we have people living right on top of the railway stations. Well, I think the intensification of the city along the rail routes and the bus corridors makes a lot of sense.
根据公开的报告显示，奥克兰市议会主要收入来源分别有地税、来自中央财政补贴、服务收费、金融投资收入等等。过去10余年的数字显示，曾有3年出现过财政赤字，而赤字最严重的就是2024年，达到了40多万，而这还是在上调了地税的情况之下。在机场股份出售之后，作为市议会100%控股的奥克兰港口立刻受到了特别关注。出售、长期托管，还是寻求第三方的共同开发，都成为了未来的可能性。
At the moment, it only has to be 55% to either sell it or lease it out. One of my policies is to increase that to a 75% vote, so we have more than a majority to try and save any strategic assets that we have left. Look, I know with the car parks and things like that around there, there's a lot of ideas on how we could be doing better with that land.
I would like to bring in a new lottery in Auckland controlled by the Auckland Council. Instead of all the money going out to the rest of the country, so much of that money comes from Auckland. Let's keep it here. And that money, instead of rates being relied upon to fund a lot of social spending, but they come from there.
There's two true things about any government, even one that I'm in charge of. Every government is incompetent and inefficient. If I'm elected mayor, the council will make me more incompetent and more inefficient. There is nothing you can do about that. That is the fact of the public sector. So I think we should be very, very careful what we actually ask the public sector to do, because anything that they do will be incompetent and inefficient. So ask them to do the little amount as possible.
我认为现在奥克兰的基础设施跟不上这个人口和城市的发展需要，所以我希望未来的市长也好，咱们未来的市议员以及这个我们地区的各个的地方委员会的委员们能够共同努力。我相信一个城市的改变不是某一个人，也是不是某一个组织或者机构能独自去改变的，实际上是需要它是一个复杂的综合性的一个工程，所以我觉得这个是需要一个整个的一个体系参与出来，参与进去，然后每一个在这个体系当中为人民服务的这个议员也好，公务员也好，都能真正的做好他们本职的工作。
所以对于我们来讲，好的一个 better infrastructure， 还有就是对于一个非常重要的就是要 better planning。对于我们来讲，我们这个区将来会有非常多的新的房屋开发会在那里发生。那么在那之前呢，我们需要有非常良好的基础建设，我们还需要更多的、更好的一些 public 和 community facilities， 像我们的 Albany Library。我们现在目前整个 Upper Harbour 只有一个图书馆，而且这个图书馆在2029年的时候呢，它的这个 lease 就要到期了，所以我们需要在2029年之前出台一个非常好的政策，给我们这个社区一个优良的、非常棒的一个图书馆的一个设施。
已经在网上注册过或者呢有过投票经历的奥克兰的居民朋友，应该都已经收到了这样的一份投票邮包。这个邮包里呢会有一个投票信封、一封候选人的介绍，还有一张选票。选票中有3项内容需要投票：奥克兰市长1名，您所在大区的市议员2名，以及您居住地的地方委员会成员4名。填写完毕之后，放入投票信封封好，请注意一定要把地址面朝窗口处放好哦。那么在选择结束之后呢，只要投入您当地的投票处或者是任意的新西兰的邮局就可以了。投票地点除了邮局，还有所有的公共图书馆，还有部分的超市和公共场所。那么登录奥克兰的投票网站 voteauckland.co.nz 就可以查询距离您最近的投票点了。需要注意的是，投递到邮局邮箱的截止日期呢是2025年的10月7号，而投票处的截止日期是10月11号的中午，所以一定要把时间记准喽。如果您没有收到这样的投票邮包，或者是丢了，都不用着急。登录奥克兰的投票网站，也就是刚才我们提到的 voteauckland.co.nz， 只要进行身份认证，也可以在截止日期前进行现场投票，都是 OK 的。那么希望大家都可以投出自己负责任的一票，来为奥克兰的未来助力。